A viral trend causing chaos for people heading to the movies in Utah. You might have seen some of these videos.
How did we get here? I mean, 6 years ago, we were all cheering, hollering for Avengers Endgame, the accumulation of multiple movies into this single point, historical, cultural moment for all of us. But at the same time, we weren't burning down theaters to show our love for what we're watching. Then COVID-19 happened, where TikTok was also becoming very popular. And now years later, we're seeing spikes in air rage incidents where people are just going ballistic on airplanes and just not knowing how to deal with themselves anymore and treat their fellow human. And that's pretty much what I want to explore today. Not really airplanes, obviously, but there's been a clear, somewhat natural progression in movie theaters and the way we're behaving and how we're treating the minimum wage movie theater employees. And spoilers, it's not great. Before the pandemic, there was 4 Despicable Me movies amassing almost $4 billion in box office revenue, and overall it's been 12 years since the first Despicable Me movie came out. Even more important, there was a 5-year gap between Despicable Me 3 and the movie we're going to be talking about today. So just overall, I want to show my point that we're all grown up now, and it was all fueling into what would become the gentle Minions trend, which had to do with Minions, The Rise of Gru, which came out in 2022. This trend was started by a group of high school Australians. I didn't know this, but headed by their leader, Bill Hurst on TikTok. They went to the release of this movie all in suits. You know, they're all young adults and they came in fancy suits to watch this. They went like this a lot. Now, why would they do this? I mean, I don't want to explain the joke to you, but it's just kind of, you know, it's ironic. Adults, young adults are going to see this movie that's particularly made for kids, and they're wearing fancy suits. They're taking it very serious. They're clapping and stuff. But again, it is fueled by nostalgia. I mean, this movie is for us. We were there when the when the text was written. So, I mean, it was a good idea. You know, it was fun. And when they posted that, the Gentle Minions hashtag was born and became a full-on trend. I mean, their video was viewed millions of times, millions of likes, hundreds and thousands of shares. I mean, it was a big thing. And overall, it was a fun, good trend. I mean, nothing was too crazy. Universal was loving it. I mean, of course they did. People were buying their tickets. They posted saying, "To everyone showing up to the Minions in suits, we see you and we love you." Okay, Universal, let's calm down. And the Minions TikTok also made their own TikTok. Obviously, they're loving it. They're a corporation. They'll buy into this stuff, but I think it shows that it was a good, feel-good kind of trend, you know, harmless, and it got people into theaters, and you got to go with your friends. It was like a group activity, especially after COVID, you know, 2022. It was a fun thing to get back together with your friends to do and watch a movie you all grew up with. I did it with my friend. I didn't have a suit. This is him because he had a suit. It was kind of a spontaneous thing, but it was a fun time. I don't remember liking the movie that much, but like most good things, people did eventually take it a little bit too far. There were reports of bananas being thrown at the screen, people just generally being loud and trashing the theater with popcorn and everything, like just not really cleaning up after themselves. And I guess it got to the point where theaters were starting to ban teens that were in suits going to see. Now, I find this trend to be kind of mild level, even at its worst, but I think no one was really used to this level of craziness, especially in movie theaters. So I guess even for the simplest thing, they started banning kids. But overall, the hashtag amassed about 237 million views to date on TikTok. Obviously, millions of other views on other platforms, and just was overall a big thing. I remember this. I went with my friend and did the same thing. So, and the movie itself also made like $1 billion. It did very, very well, and probably in big part to this trend. I mean, that's free advertisement. Any corporation's going to love that. But now there are current studies showing that the pandemic definitely changed some personalities in people and making young adults more neurotic. Also less self-disciplined, but I guess that's not as important when it comes to this. But there definitely just scientifically was a little bit of a personality change since COVID. Okay, I think this one needs a little bit of a backstory that might seem a little unrelated, but I think it isn't. In 2021, there was a TikTok trend called the devious lick, or at least that's what I call it. and it just pretty much had kids stealing things from their schools, mainly from the bathroom. So we're talking sinks, signs. It was just stealing. It was a trend about stealing and calling the most devious lick, which which I find kind of funny. But I mean, I don't support stealing, obviously. No stealing, but I can't lie. I did chuckle a couple times at these trends, at all these trends personally. But then a couple of years later, in October of 2023, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie came out, which was a big deal for a lot. But almost immediately people started stealing the signs from the movie. Like, you know, those cardboard cutout signs that they place in the theaters that like advertise it and for what's coming up or what's playing. People just start going and grabbing them and just running as fast as possible to try to take them out, which is bizarre. And also they just kind of skip the whole, like, including the movie in some way, or like harmless fun. I don't like it. Would just stealing, like it's just straight up stealing. I get it's 4 or 5 Nights at Freddy's, but it seems loosely connected. I mean, this was fueled by a similar situation as before. Five Nights at Freddy's came out in 2014. You know, we kids grew up on it. Matt Pat, that's just a theory. It became this huge franchise that everybody loves. So I guess just, I mean, again, it wasn't surprising that this was kind of a hit and people were anticipating it. But why start stealing stuff? I mean, I had a good time on my opening night. I had a great time. It was honestly probably my favorite opening night of any movie I've been to. I haven't been to that many, but it's like people were dressing up, people were, you know, cheering and everything during the cameos. I won't spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but it was just a really fun night. I mean, and no one was stealing stuff from what I could tell. But obviously people got to take it to that next level and just apparently just racing each other to see who could steal the signs the quickest, like when it comes to the different TikToks. Like just trying to grab it and running as fast as possible. That was the trend. Obviously, this wasn't as large of a trend as before, but I think kind of shows a clear progression where we're skipping parts, where we're doing more things for clicks than like the focal point being about hanging out with friends, doing fun things at the movies. Like it's like now it's just, okay, this is a TikTok trend, doing it for the Vine pretty much. This is what is kind of resorted to in these past couple of years since COVID. I mean, I can't argue that it isn't. I mean, it's harmless fun in a way. Again, stealing, but it's like stealing a traffic cone and like putting it in your room, which I got a lot of people do. I never did it, but you know, it's just like, is it really hurting anybody? No, I mean, it's cardboard. I don't know how much this trend really added to the box office, but Five Nights at Freddy's did good. It almost made 300 million, and they're coming out with a second one. Love it that much. I mean, it was like all of these, like they're pretty bad movies. I mean, they're not really for me, but opening night, great time.
Yearn for the mines.
Okay, I'm just gonna yap at this point because this is pretty fresh. This movie just came out. This trend is still probably happening somewhere. And if you got this far into the video, you're probably already determined if you're going to stay or not. So I'm just going to yap a little. On the con side of this trend, and if you don't know the trend, I guess there's multiple trends, but the main one is, in the movie, there's a scene where a baby zombie comes down onto a chicken. Steve, played by Jack Black, he goes, chicken jockey. And then in the real life movie theater, people just chuck popcorn. I mean, I see confetti cannons, like people just go insane and they yell, they have to stop the theater. Like that's the trend, destroying the theater. That is the trend in the name of Minecraft funny moments. So obvious cons. These minimum wage workers don't get paid enough to deal with this crap, and I pray for them. It's also, you're just destroying the building in a way, or like the carpet, or like people gotta walk there later, people gotta clean that later. I mean, it's just obvious things I think could be seen as cons. It's also disturbing other people. Like if they're there watching the movie with their kid, but they're not a part of your little teenage group, you're ruining the movie for them. I mean, a lot of the times I gotta stop the movie, kick everybody out. Like it's just a general nuisance to everyone there. Okay, cons, but there's also, I guess, pros depending who you are and how you look at it. You could argue that it's like antisocial, but I see articles saying that no, it is like a social thing. You know, it is like Gentle Minions. You have to go with your friends, or at least a group of people. You can't do this solo. You gotta bring others. Like the sign stealing, you can do it by yourself if you're strong enough, I guess. But for this, you got to bring up a group of people, and it's very social. It's a trend, you know. Also, you socialize on TikTok and stuff and send memes. Like it is a social factor to it. It's kind of where our society is right now when it comes to how we interact with people and socialize, which is kind of gross on its own, but you know, I'm not I'm not here to say. And brands, probably this is probably the saddest part. Brands will definitely be taking notes on this because the Minecraft movie made like $1 billion. I think it's number 2 for Hollywood movies. I think 3 technically Zihan, the Chinese movie that came out, but it made a ton of money, made $1 billion. So movies are gonna start seeing like, oh, this is what you need to do. You got to make a trend, and you got to get people in seats, and you gotta, no matter what they do for this trend, they just have to go buy tickets. Also, like people like the director, he finds it kind of funny. Like he doesn't really mind this. He said it's funny because I think it's literally just cheering and throwing popcorn, which is so funny to me that cops are being called for popcorn. Like, I don't know if he's downright said like, yeah, go do this, but it's like he thinks it's funny. He likes the trend. I think he likes that people are going to go see his movie. And it's like, this movie is edited like a TikTok. It's a movie that's so bad it's good type of situation, because I gave it a 2 out of 5. It's not a good movie, but it's edited like a TikTok with these like funny quips, no dead air. Oh my, it's the most TikTok movie I've ever seen. So of course it's getting treated like one. Of course it's turned into a trend. Minecraft, obviously it's the most successful game of all time, I imagine, unless something past it, if I wasn't made aware. Again, we all grew up on it. It's a meme, it's a video game. Children are now adults. TikTok, and they're gonna go out and watch the movie, and people's brains are so melted, so brain rotted now that this is what they like, oh, this is what I have to do. This is to make the funny. This is for me to get views. And I guess, yeah, you're gonna get treated like a TikTok if you're gonna make your movie like a TikTok. So can't say too much. Conclusion. Obviously, this has kind of happened before, even before the pandemic. I see it more with like TV shows, I guess, or like, you know, there was the Szechuan sauce thing that happened with Rick and Morty. I still don't know if I've really seen this for like movies though. If you have, if I'm totally forgetting something, let me know. Obviously, there's like Marvel stuff, but I think that's more just cheering. Like I think TikTok is so big now that we haven't had a social media that creates this type of trend. Same with like Barbie and Oppenheimer. You know, that was a harmless trend. People were dressing up and everything, but like that was also fueled by TikTok, I think. And like I can't think of any other examples, but if you can, let me know. Just overall, in conclusion of the conclusion, respect your fellow human. Go see more movies and theaters that, you know, obviously if you can afford it, especially go support smaller budget movies. I think those are the good ones. Those are the ones hopefully that would win Oscars and stuff like that. Stop using social media, go outside, make friends, hang out with your friends, and live life to the fullest despite the situation our world is currently in.